All right, so let's see what we can do. Let's do some practicing about reading in a file or creating a file if one doesn't exist. So let's just jump in and get started. All right, so first of all, I'm going to create a file object, and it's going to be a new file, and I'm going to call this student.txt. Okay, so that's going to create, remember it's not creating a file, it's just creating a file object. And so in the past in our past video, we tested to see if that file existed with the fn.exists method. Okay, the exists method for that object. So, and it's a Boolean that'll be returned. And so let's set up a situation where if that file doesn't exist, that we want to create one. All right, so if that file doesn't exist, we're going to make one. All right, so let us try there's a method called create new file. Create new file. Okay, let's give that a try and see what happens. All right, so we're getting a little red squiggly line, and here it's letting us know that we have to catch an IO exception. All right, so in our past video, we just threw it away from the main and to the JVM, but let's go ahead and catch this one. So what I'm going to do then is, if that's an error, we're going to try to catch the FN, and if we don't successfully run the create, for some reason we have an error with the create file, who knows what it is, we're going to catch it, and it says I need to create an IO exception, and I'll call it IOE. And maybe what I'll do, since I really don't know what might generate that, I'm just going to have it print out a message. Okay, so good. So now I can create a new file. So now that I've created a new file, I'm going to print to it. And so in the past in our past video, we did a print writer, pw equals new print writer fn, and boom. Now remember in our past video that we also had to catch a file not found exception in our print writer, but because we're catching an IO exception that is a parent of the file not found exception, so we've satisfied two catches here. We've satisfied the catch required for trying to create the file. We've also satisfied the catch that's required for the print writer. So in one swoop, we've got two of them taken care of by using the parent class. Okay, so now that we've created the print writer, let's print something. Println new file here, or something equally as nonsensical at the moment. And then remember we have to close that in order to actually write that stream to the file. So now if we run this, we should get, let's see if I think I might already have one in there yet. I've been doing some work on some other things that we're going to do in a video here in a minute. But now our student text doesn't exist. Student text doesn't exist. So when we run this, build successful, we should now have student.txt and in it, new file here. So it worked. So here is an example of a way that we can create a file if one doesn't exist. And we are also, instead of throwing, in our last video, instead of throwing our file, I think we threw a file exception, a file not found error, we're catching both of those exceptions and just writing a new file.